for them, they were stuck in this cave, and they had some British divers that, you know, dive in the ocean and everything like that, come over to try to rescue these boys. Crazy story, like fascinating as anything.
Oh, shit.
The thing is, I actually went to an event where the diver who went through this cave with this equipment and had to knock the kids out with, I don't know, you know what they use in hospitals?
Like the mask.
To make them unconscious.
Anesthesia?
And yeah.
Anesthetic or some shit. I don't actually know. No, I know
right,
the word
right.
starts with A.
Yeah. So they had to use that, something you use before you go into surgery.
Surgeries and stuff.
They either had to knock them out like that and then drag them back through the cave, right? Because they had talks about having to possibly, I think, they couldn't fit. Mate, okay. The reason I'm blanking on this, and this is my point, this is perfect. I went and saw one of the divers have a speech about the entire process itself, everything that happened. So the guy who actually rescued these kids had this speech. Mate, with all due respect, nothing against this guy at all, boring as hell. Boring as anything. And I find it so fascinating that if you've got someone who is just an out there character, really able to draw you in on a story, which I think is an art form in itself.
Correct.
Can make anything interesting.
No,
because this guy has one of the most interesting stories ever.
It's a massive story.
He dived in a fucking cave, underwater, and saved 12 kids. And I can't remember the details because when he was talking, it was like this. So we were going to the cave on the 19th of September. I and Jonathan Fitzpatrick, we went and got our gear, and we were really worried about the event. And I'm sitting there and I'm like, oh my God. I literally went to the bathroom because I'm like, I'm going to go on my phone.
Shit.
And that is an interesting story. So...
Whoa, your sex is on fire. Meow, meow, meow. Yeah. With the words to transpire. Meow, meow, meow.
Guys, it is Morokaii with two eyes. We are back. We're on every single Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday at 7 a.m. on Spotify.
5 days.
4:30 p.m.
A week.
On YouTube. Yes, we are. And
stop it.
Oh, you know what? 5 out of the 7. What's that in math terms? Like 67%?
Oh man, I'm shit at maths. I got an E plus.
Yeah,
for maths. I didn't even want to do it in year 12.
Yeah, I got
given the subject. I told the teacher I shouldn't be in this class.
Now that you're I forgot about E's because I know I got a lot of them. I got in English.
No, I did well in English, food tech, and I thought I was doing well in philosophy.
Put your finger down for food tech. That doesn't count. Everyone does well in food tech.
Yeah, mate. Did you have to make a portfolio?
A portfolio?
Yeah, I had a big fuck-off portfolio. I took it thinking, this is going to be a piece of piss. I'll just get to cook.
Yeah.
That's fine. I enjoy cooking. I have a lot of fun doing that. And then, all right, so you're going to plan something and you're going to have to do a portfolio. You're going to have to break down what the recipe is. One recipe has to be like gluten-free and all that shit. And I'm like...
all that shit.
Oh yeah, like all that, like all the other, like
all those other healthy ingredients.
So I had to draw what I was making, then I had to add a photo of what I was making. I had to add the ingredients. I had to write why I was making this. So it had to be like some like little blurb thing of like I'm having a grand final party, and the reason why I'm having fruit pies or whatever, or like just meat pies.
What did you make?
I did do a footy grand final, so I made a homemade pasta sauce. Got way, and how did you? I got way too many tomatoes.
How did you draw them? Did you have to actually draw pasta and pasta sauce?
Yeah, you had to, man.
So why not print off or take a photo?
You had to have both.
I would love to see the picture.
The portfolios. Trust me, man. My portfolio looked terrible.
You just drawing pasta sauce.
Terrible, man.
Oh, it
was so bad.
I had an awkward moment when I was with. I remember I didn't really have too many friends in my home ec class, and hey, I'm doing all right now. I'm doing okay now. And I got paired up with someone I didn't know, and she was just like kind of that girl who's just, you know, a bit of the weirder type. Just the type that would
Wild time.
the type that would run around primary school thinking she's a horse kind of type. Like, yeah. Maybe in high school too. She's a little weird. Anyway, so I partnered up with her, and I was like, all right, well, what are we going to make? And the teacher's like, no, we're not making anything. We're doing a blindfold taste test. And I was like, stitched up. Like, really? And I remember, like, she, like, spilt. She put the biggest amount of soy sauce on a spoon and put it in my mouth. And I was like, why? Like, and it spilled on my uniform.
Why do you hate me?
I was like, it's just a taste test. I don't need like an actual full spoonful of soy sauce down my gullet.
Yeah, well, it was funny. We weren't allowed to. The teacher that we had for food tech never ever was like, we couldn't add salt or tomato sauce because it alters the flavour. You don't actually get to understand like the proper, you don't actually get to taste the proper finished product.
As long as if you made a meat pie.
That's what I'm saying. I'm like, mate, it's going in sauce. I'm not having a raw. I'm not. Well, see, to me,
this is my first bad boy moment. I'm bringing in.
I thought it was odd. I still think to this day it's odd that people will eat a sausage roll, meat pie, chicken nuggets, no sauce.
They're savages.
I'm like, what is your world?
Yeah,
I seriously could not comprehend having those things without sauce.
Maybe they grew up in Tasmania and they migrated over here. I don't know.
It baffles me.
Mate, I can sit there with you as well. I'll get the KFC 24 pack of nugs and I'm in heaven, right? But about 12 nugs down, I ain't getting through them without the sauce.
Yeah, exactly.
I ain't finishing without that sauce,
I'm
mate.
doing like,
Yeah.
Processed chicken.
Yeah. Sauce is a game changer.
The sauce just adds to it.
Do you know what I hate, though? I hate this. Okay. I don't like it. Okay? The little rip packets of sauce.
Dude, they go everywhere.
Everywhere.
It's always somehow on me. I'm like, big shot.
Thank God I'm not. It's just not me.
It shits
Mate,
me.
I'll be in the car and I cannot be one of those people that I order my fast food and I'm like, there it is in the passenger seat. Can't wait to eat that on the way home. No, it's there. I'm eating it as I'm driving. I'm telling you now, I have that much stains on my front seat of McDonald's had the waffle cones.
Yeah.
I would grab 2 of those bad boys, drive them with my knees constantly, like, because I would get the strawberry. I'd have the strawberry and caramel and I'd be driving my knees. And if a sharp turn came up, I'd be like this. And then ice cream, there is still a massive stain that even getting my car detailed couldn't get rid of.
Oh, no.
And it's just ice cream.
Just ice cream.
Just ice cream. They clean the stuff in the back.
Shit. Oh, that's good.
Yeah. So, mate, I'm so with you. Those little sauce packets.
Yeah, mate, I'll tell you what does do good sauces. Real random.
What does do good sauces?
When you go to like Thailand or Bali and they have the little plastic and you can just dab it with a little bottle.
Squirter boy.
That is amazing. What? That should be in Australia. I can see why it's not because Macca's at midnight in Australia is fucking rowdy.
Yeah.
There'd be a lot of sauce on walls, mustard and all that. But what a great idea.
I've been very worried myself of things I've eaten from either like restaurants or fast food. And I sit there and I go, let's say something simple, right? At Subway, the sauces they've got lined up sauces. They've got heaps. I feel like they wouldn't clean them that well and just chuck in new sauce. And I wonder if there's possibly a mayo, right? That's down the bottom. That's from last Friday. And then they're close to out. And then they've filled it up again with a mayo that's from this Friday.
You know what?
And the cycle continues.
You know what now I've just registered in my brain?
That you've had year-old mayo?
No, but I've never once thought about that going to Subway. And I like to get Subway quite a bit. I think you may have just put me off Subway. I'm actually not. It's not even like something that I would think about. But because I go for like a ranch or like a blue chip, I'm now like, oh nah. Because by the way, Subway's tuna, they've confirmed that they don't know what that is.
Yeah, they haven't
like,
they?
So
like the bread in Ireland, the bread was like mostly sugar. Did you hear about that?
So like.
Imagine if you just having a plain bread roll with tuna over there. What are you eating?
the thing that fucks me up as well with Subway, right, is I'm
Jared FOGLE.
But I'm I'm paying someone just to make me a sandwich because I myself am too lazy to buy the products to make it myself.
Yeah, but it is about convenience.
It's
the same. It's the same when you buy a bottle of water.
Isn't it just like it's fun? Like in that sense, like so many times I'm like, I could have just bought this at home. I remember though there was one time that I tried to make my own meatball sub. The time and effort to make it, I was like, no, fuck that. Like, he's so spot on. Like, the convenience side of it, I'm like,
I've got to draw the picture. I can't use salt. I can't use tomato sauce.
Oh, shit, what am I going to put the meatballs with?
I hate that she taught me like this. every time you do meal prep, you're like, your mum's like, what do you do? It's like, oh, I'm just finishing off the fucking green on the broccoli. Why are you drawing pictures? Because you have to, mum. Yeah, that's how I was taught.
Why don't you use the text up? Mum, I never got my text license. I can only write in pencil. Shit, where's the eraser? Now it's smudged. I'm going to start again. Lee, the food's burning. I have to start again.
You're throwing out meal prep meals. Man, there's a couple of things. Okay, I have 2 points in my head. I want to talk about Gerald Fogle again, the spokesman. Well, the representative basically for Subway. Because I find that story very interesting.
Incredibly fact.
It is fact. But also, the people that handle my food, okay, I remember once I went and got a kebab and I nearly threw it out.
Ooh.
And I was checking it as I was eating it.
Ugh.
The guy who served me, mate, not in a mean way, just this Indian guy who looked like he just looked angry at me. And he was covered in pimples and hairy as. And I was sitting there and I was like, oh, wear gloves or just something. I don't know. He just...
You came across and you didn't feel clean.
Mate, perfect way to put it.
Seriously.
Perfect way to put it.
There's nothing wrong with saying that.
There's some people that have served me my food before and I've looked and I've been like, you don't look like you've taken a bath and you're making my Domino's pizza. I'm
a bit 50-50.
I literally...
No, and I don't think there's anything... And there'd be so many people out there as well who completely agree.
Yeah.
And have had the same exact experience.
And I'm just... yeah, sometimes I get worried. But, mate, Jared Fogle, I find that so interesting. So if anyone doesn't know, if you can remember, Subway, their main... when they took off, they had a guy called Jared Fogle who ate nothing but Subway sandwiches. That's what he claimed. He said, all I've eaten is Subway sandwiches. And he lost a huge amount of weight.
He was a big boy to
He was
start
a massive boy. So all the ads would have Jared Fogle with his old pants stretched out saying, look how much weight I've lost just eating Subway sandwiches. They blew up. That guy got caught with child porn. And what happened was, and I'm going to butcher this, but it's along these lines, he told a friend or a reporter about possibly sharing what he has on his computer with them or getting it off someone. And this person, whoever it was, had to pretend to be into it to then gain that information to give to the police because they couldn't just go off he's just said it.
Yeah,
so they went a bit of a deep dive. I find that fascinating as hell because imagine sitting there and being like, it's someone you know, right? And you go, this guy's made some weird remarks about criminal activity, but I've actually got nothing on him.
I need to
deep dive and actually find out?
Yeah, because then aren't you almost like accomplice? Like in that, like in a weird, because then like you're also like involved.
If you held your receipts though, I don't think you.
Yeah, okay. Because I just feel like that's a very fine line though. Like, you know what I mean?
Oh,
like,
definitely, it would be. There was one of the best podcasts I've seen, and I find it interesting. There's some podcasts where you won't go for the actual host. It's just for the guests. I've always found that very interesting.
As well,
yeah,
like,
I'll sit there and I'll listen to the
the
host.
reasons behind why they're into what they're into, or like they do what they do. Like, yeah.
And there was one guy, he went undercover in a pedophile ring. And what he did was, and this was completely fascinating, he met and was trying to find out certain pedophiles. And he would meet one and then have to build a relationship. I'm talking for a solid year. Like, build that relationship because it's such a tight-knit group. If there is a group, they won't let anyone in because you're screwed if you
Yeah,
get found out.
110%.
So he got in with one, and the information that came out of it was so fascinating, like disturbing but fascinating. He found out that for pedophiles, it's more about the chase for them, which is so incredibly disturbing. a lot of them will actually try to get in a relationship with a woman who has a kid. So let's say they find the kid at a park. They're just watching the kid at the park. They will then keep tabs on that kid, find out who the mother is, try to get in a relationship with the mother, and then slowly over time, if they can, then try to get with the child. He said it happens all the time. All the time. And I was like, that is fucking insane. Because it's about a long play for them. And I'm like, that is disgusting. But like how your brain would work.
Yeah, what the fuck?
And so eventually he got in with a group. And what happened was he went upstairs. He went with one of the pedophiles to the group and they were all there. And they were all there because they had a 12-year-old boy there ready to share around.
That's fucked.
How bad?
That is so fucked.
So bad. What happened was they were sharing pornography images on their computer, right? And to initiate him, some of the guys were wary about him, so they made him watch some of the child porn on the computer to make sure he was basically fine with it. Incredibly disturbing. So so they brought the kid in maybe an hour, 2 hours into them all catching up. So he had to watch all those videos to kind of gain their trust. He didn't expect that kid to be coming in at all. So when the kid came in, I think it was 2 years worth of work he did to just be able to get into this circle because he needed more information so he could actually make sure they're locked away for a long, long time.
Yep.
When the kid got brought in, he wasn't made aware of this. So he's sitting there and it was like a gift to him. This was them saying, we accept you into our circle. So they gave him this 12-year-old boy to have his way with him. He had to call it. So he had to call in backup because he was in a spot where he's like,
I'm not doing that.
I can't do this.
Yeah.
And now, not only that, a child is literally involved.
Yeah, and in danger.
In danger, I have to end this. So he did. They all got taken away. Mate, hurt me to my core that I think the longest sentence, and I could butcher this, but I know it wasn't long, was 9 years. One of them got 9 years. And I'm like, how fucked is that? 9 years. That's not even close to enough. If you touch a child, I think it should be life. Straight away, life.
No, yeah.
And
That is fucked.
How interesting is that, though?
That is crazy. Like, that is actually crazy.
Imagine tailing someone having this fake identity for that long to then finally get into the group that you've been trying to get into to then have a child actually come. It's real now. Like, it's actually real.
Yeah, fucking hell.
That one always gets me. There are so many interesting stories on the internet. And I can talk about this too. You remember that story in Thailand where those soccer players, the young children, got stuck in a cave?
Yes.
It was something to do with they were going and exploring in a cave and then the cave got flooded and they were stuck in the cave, literally pitch darkness. Yep. Pitch black darkness, which is fucking horrifying. And to actually get to the part of the cave where they were at, it was really hard to get in and out of. And that's not with water filled up through the cave as well.
Spot on.
So for them, they were stuck in this cave and they had some British divers that, dive in the ocean and everything like that, come over to try to rescue these boys. Crazy story, like fascinating as anything.
Oh, shit.
The thing is, I actually went to an event where the diver who went through this cave with this equipment and had to knock the kids out with, I don't know, what they use in hospitals?
Like the mask thing.
Yeah, to make them unconscious.
Anesthesia? And anesthetic or some shit. I don't actually know.
No,
I know
right,
the word starts with A.
Yeah, so they had to use that, something you use before you go into surgery.
Surgeries and stuff.
They either had to knock them out like that and then drag them back through the cave, right? Because they had talks about having to possibly, I think, they couldn't fit. Mate, okay. The reason I'm blanking on this, and this is my point, this is perfect. I went and saw one of the divers have a speech about the entire process itself, everything that happened. So the guy who actually rescued these kids had the speech. Mate, with all due respect, nothing against this guy at all, boring as hell. Boring as anything. And I find it so fascinating that if you've got someone who is just an out there character, really able to draw you in on a story, which I think is an art form in itself,
Correct.
can make anything interesting.
No, you're
Because this
spot
guy
on.
has one of the most interesting stories
Well, it's
ever.
a massive story.
He dived in a fucking cave, underwater, and saved 12 kids. And I can't remember the details because when he was talking, it was like this. So we were going to the cave on the 19th of September. I and Jonathan Fitzpatrick, we went and got our gear, and we were really worried about the event. And I'm sitting there and I'm like, oh my God. I literally went to the bathroom because I'm like, I'm going to go on my phone.
Yeah, shit.
And that is an interesting story. So
no, it is. No, you're so spot on.
yeah, if there was someone who could suck me in, like, maybe it could sound silly, but Kevin Hart, right? Kevin Hart has had some really stuff that's not that interesting happen in his life, and he's talked about it, and I'm like, that I'm drawn in. You've got me.
Yeah.
You've got I'm there.
You've hooked me. Like,
Same with someone like John Cena on WWE.
no, you're so spot on.
Some people are just magicians with the way they fucking
The
can
way
tell
they
a story.
speak, yeah, the storytelling aspect.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just, I would have loved to hear that story from just maybe
It may be a different perspective, like
Yeah.
someone like a bit more
just that could pull me in.
into
That could
it, I
grip you.
guess.
Have you had any motivational speakers before where you've been like, this is trash?
Not from the top of my head. The only like motivational speaker I've more or less seen is the guy. He's an American and he went to the high schools, and it's just about when he was growing up, how like I don't know, he just went around to schools and more or less when he was growing up, he's like, oh, you know, like mum would always like tell me to like do this or do that, and I'd just be like, just leave me alone, like you're cramping my style more or less. And then he's like, basically like, I just hated my mum, I didn't speak to her, and then there was one morning that I got the call and it was saying that my mum had passed away, and I was like, oh shit, like I never really got to say like thank you and like all that. That's the only motivational speak, but I was like really drawn in with like, again, how he presented and stuff like that. I haven't really had an experience. In saying that though, I must admit I haven't really I wouldn't say that I've gone out of my way either, or like to anything to see a motivational speaker per se.
There was one, he wasn't a motivational speaker. It was more about building your business and your brand. And it was one of those things. It was an event that got paid for me, and I hated it so much. So I'll end on this. It was for a guy called Aaron Sansoni, right? Mm-hmm. And what Aaron's done is he's built up that many companies from the ground up. He is a millionaire 10 times over. He is so successful, so ridiculously successful. So it's like one of those events where you pay and you go to learn from him, and it was 5 days.
Oh,
and it was
shit,
like,
that's a big event.
Mate, 9 to 5 kind of shit. And there was tables everywhere. The group I went in with was 2 other people. They immediately, it's one of those types where they split you off so then you can connect with other people and socialize and things. I was early on, so this stuff for me was just like, I wasn't really interested in any way. Mate, he tried to be a motivational speaker and I hated it. Hated it.
Just very
I was
forced,
like,
in that
oh
sense.
my God. I was like, stick to the business that you know. He was talking about things about, for example, he has kids, and he was talking about how his daughter saw power lines, like those massive power lines, and something to do with the way she wanted to stop the car and get out and look that it was a ladder to heaven or a ladder to the future. Something because I sat there and I went, oh, mate, what are you trying to force down our throats? This is so cringe.
I think that's my issue with, like, don't get me wrong, like, I'm sure there are some amazing motivational speakers who could, like, really change your life for the better and all that. I think my biggest issue, and it's not a go at them in any sense, but I feel like if I was to ever go to, like, that sort of event, I'd be like, but what's your hidden agenda?
Definitely.
Like, what are you hoping to get out of me?
Would you
are you hoping that, like, now I sign on to, like, some succession plan where, like, I get a monthly email with, like, a check-in with you and a video call with you? Like, that's I'm like, where's the catch?
So
where's the kicker?
I can explain that perfectly to you before we go, because you are fucking on the money, because day 2, I started realizing that shit. Because day 1, I was sitting there and we're learning about businesses and everything like that, and I'm like, okay, there is some good stuff in here, but we ended with all sitting down and I think it was what is it when you sit like this and you
meditation.
Meditation. Sorry, I was going to say
meditating.
praying. So through a guided
namaste.
So through a guided meditation, and I'm like, okay, this stuff
group
to me is a
meditation.
little bullshit. And then every maybe hour, we'd have to get up and run around and
loosen up.
We would have to run around and give everyone a high five. So everyone in the group was high fiving. There was moments the minute he came into every day, you'd have to get up and dance until he come in. This type of shit that I'm talking is just too much. Like just trying to be too different. And I'm sitting there, I'm like, this is stupid.
You're good at making a business. Keep telling us about how, why, what are your strategies, how to make a successful business. Like, give us that information so that hopefully we can one day maybe be as successful as you.
Yeah. The final one he did was we had to have a board with all our feels on it. Like all the things we're scared of,
our feels.
And we had to punch through it on the final day. No, day one we had to punch through our fears, and so everyone's punching. Mate, there were some people who couldn't get through the board, and it was a light board, and they were really struggling. He's like, "No, you can do it. You can do it. You can do it." And I'm like, "Of course you can do it. It's $2 wood. Like it is like and it's just got all these fears on it." I'm like, "This is the fucking worst." But as you said, things like they would roll a massive dice, right? And in that dice, there was all these options of you could go to another one of his training seminars for free, another one of his trainings. And every time they're just talking to everyone about all these other trainings he's got that cost thousands of dollars. Guys, I've gone through a lot of trouble, a lot of hardships. This is no bullshit, by the way. This is fully serious. Whoever can sprint to the back of the room will get my book for free. The first 3 people will get it for $3. The rest get to 50% off.
And I'll sign the first page to your name,
mate. It's the amount of CDs.
I'm right in front of you. Like
Lee, the amount of CDs and books he tried to sell us in those first fucking 4 days. I didn't go to the 5th. I went. Why would you? Because
that's just a sales pitch.
It's half the whole thing.
That's the thing. Like. Again, it's not a crack at the industry, whatever, but like it's the catchment. That's why I feel like there
what he
are
did could have been done
there.
in 3 days without the bullshit.
Mate, it could have even just been a 2-day thing.
It
doesn't. A 5-day. I'm sorry, but a week is a stretch.
9 to 5.
A week sounds more like a therapy session.
A cult. More like
than a fucking
he had
seminar.
At the front tables that follow him around to other events, and I would see it on his Facebook.
So the yes men.
I would see it on his Facebook, and they would just kiss his ass in all these comments, and I'm like, this is cringe. This is the type of like cult-like stuff. I would have way more respect if it was like a 3-day. You
can just actually see the frustration.
Hold on. I know I want to go, but I'll quickly say this because this is perfect example for those type of fucking events where they just want their video so they can have a promo. I sat next to this little Indian kid who hated the fact that he was there. He hated it. He was so angry that his mum brought him to this thing, but his mum was sitting somewhere else, right? Didn't like it at all. Talking to me about how he works at Grilled 1 day a week and he wants to create his own board games. And then while he was sitting there talking to me about his masturbation habits, this is not a joke. This kid, nice kid, no drive, no passion, didn't want to be there. He was sitting there drawing on his sketchbook. His mum obviously dragged him to him. His mum, on the other side of the room, got called up as in to speak. So he'll speak someone random. He'll be like, how can I help your business or how can I help your life? She got up and said, look, I'm mainly here for my son. I really just want him to get out of the house and really start to actually have a career. His brothers are thriving at the moment, but he's just stuck inside and he really doesn't want to get out and actually, have a job and have a career. I'm sitting next to this kid.
He's told you his dream, his passion, what he wants to do.
And I'm sitting there and I'm like, she's right. You, not in a dick way, you don't have any dreams, passions, anything. You just want to make a board game, but you don't actually want to. Like he was telling me about, but I'm like, you work 1 day Grilled a week, but also that's 3 hours. You don't want to go out. As you said, you just want to stay home and masturbate. And so that kid stood up, right? So he's now stood up. He's like, where's your son? So the light goes to him. Now he's speaking, and he doesn't want to be. Yeah,
now I'm the son.
Yeah, he doesn't want to speak, and he's just like, yeah, no, I have a lot of dreams. I just want to, I don't know. I feel like my mum forces me into it. He turns it back on the mum. He's doing this. He's 22. He's 22. I see passion. I see this kid wants to. I know what he wants. He needs that break. You're being too hard on him. He's a good kid. He's a good kid. And I'm sitting there. I'm like, he's fucking not. He's not.
That is so. You're just giving them what they want to hear,
right? Exactly. And I'm sitting there. I'm like, you have set it up because it's all filmed and shit. I'm like, you have set this up so it's in your next promo, your next whatever. You're full of shit.
I helped turn this kid's life around.
Oh, you're full of shit. This kid. Oh,
well,
mate.
it's the same as when you see, and again, I know we're wrapping this up too, but I just need to add my little five secret herbs and spices onto this one. It's the same though when when you piss take like mediums, or like those, and it's just like it's like, oh, I know that you've lost someone. It's like, realistically, if your Facebook settings are set to public, if they type in your first name and last name and go, oh, yep, that's them.
Yep.
You can see my wall.
Yeah.
You can see that my grandpa has passed away. And it's like, oh, I feel, I think it's your grandpa. And it's like, oh my God, yes, he did pass. Like, to a degree, don't get me wrong. I'm sure there are some things out there that can't really be described and like, it's fucking scary how it, but there's so much public information out there that they can gather to just like trot you on. And then it's like, oh no, he's leaving now. But if you come next session, I think I might be able to get him back. He might be able to be in the room right now with, and it's just like, what the fuck? This isn't a monthly fucking subscription. Like, you're taking the piss.
Next video, let's do this, right? First, we still need to get the WWE belt somewhere. We still need need to do a box opening of Pokemon or Dragon Ball Z cards. Another video we're going to do, me and you are going to go to a medium. We are not going to tell them our names, anything. Okay. We're going to sit down, we're going to go, we would like you to tell our future, and then we'll let everyone know how the video went, how it went.
That's a fucking cool idea.
We are not giving them a single bit of info other than our credit card info because they're going to obviously fucking want that. That's what they're mainly there for.
Not wrong.
Oh, sorry. By the way, when we do it, we should...
Should we wear Morokaii?
Maybe, yeah. But you know
what? Don't you say anything.
You know what else we should do when we go up to the to pay at the end? We should just sit there and they're like, that is $299 because they're so expensive. And we can go, oh, I think I'm feeling something. I think my dead grandma said that I shouldn't be paying for this. Oh, it's a strong reading. Sorry, I don't. No, sorry, no. I'm not going to pay for this.
She doesn't want me here. I need to leave. I need to leave now.
Oh, she's telling me maybe the 24 nuggets from KFC. I think she's guiding me there.
What's that, Nan? 24 for 10. No, that till ended. No, it hasn't ended. No, I should go.
Speak to the manager. Okay.
I've never done this before.
Oh, I got the nuggets 24 for 10. She guided me so well.
What's that, Nan? You don't want me to dip it in the sauce? No, but I must. Oh, okay. I don't want to upset you, Nan.
Nan, I'm so sick.
Please forgive. Press F to pay respect.
Oh, guys, that is Morokaii with 2 eyes. I hope you enjoyed, and we'll see you in the next one.
Nice.
Boom.